What is going on, guys? It's Scott and Kyle here with the Never Hedge podcast, back for UFC 274, Oliveira versus Gaethje. How you doing today, Kyle?
Doing good. Coming off a tough week, but we're going to bounce back.
Yeah, there were some definite gripes with some of the judging that was going on last Saturday.
Yeah, to say the least. The Chase Sherman fight, I mean, not Chase Sherman.
Well, Chase Sherman,
Collier.
too. Chase Sherman got subbed almost
Well,
immediately. Yeah, but we lost that.
Romanov was pounding him. I was like, oh, we got it. And they just gave up the sub.
Here, take my neck.
But Jake Collier, that fight was not close. The fight was not close.
He landed, I think, 20 more total strikes, like 6 or 7 more significant strikes, had 2 takedowns to 0.
And he landed all the harder strikes. Not only did he land more strikes, his strikes were all the harder ones.
Yeah, that's 2 fights in a row where Andrei Arlovski lost and then won a split decision.
This was ridiculous. The one judge had a 30-27, and that was the right score.
That was the right call. And then the other 2, he just fucking paid off.
Yeah,
because I think he does have the highest show fee out of anyone in the UFC, because he's been doing it for fucking 20 years.
Right.
So they got to pay him, I think, $360,000 to walk into the cage, which is part of why he took the fight on short notice. And then he probably gave the 2 of the judges $10,000 each to fucking.
Right.
If I land 100 strikes, give me the win.
Yeah, that was brutal. We went down, I think, 11 units on the night to put us back to around plus 53 units the last 8 weeks or so.
Yeah, that's all right. We got a lot of fights on this card to dig us out of last week's hole. Again, we're way up overall. But starting the card off, we got Journey Newsome versus Fernie Garcia. They do not have a line out for this one. I think Fernie is favored because on Draftkings he is 8,600, Journey Newsome 7,600.
Yeah, the line on Draftkings that I'm getting is Journey Newsome's plus 135, Fernie is minus 155. I think that's a pretty accurate line.
That seems right to me. Yeah,
Newsome had his only UFC win overturned due to marijuana, which kind of sucks.
That's real soft.
But he then went on to fight Randy Costa and got brutally KO'd.
Yeah.
He hasn't fought in 2 years since then. Decent fighter. But Fernie Garcia, listen to what he said before his Dana White Contender Series fight. He said, he's really going to have to kill me to get me out of there. This is my life.
Oh, my God. I believe him.
Yeah.
He's a savage.
Oh, yeah. He's got great boxing, good footwork. I think he'll keep it standing and outbox Journey Newsome.
Like it. Moving on up the card, we got Ariane, shoulders like boulders, Carnelozzi versus Lupi Godinez. I don't know how Carnelozzi makes 115, but those delts weigh at least 30 pounds each. Godinez is back in the favorite side of things, minus 170. Carnelozzi plus 145 on DraftKings. Carnelozzi 7,200 and Lupi is 9K.
Yeah, I think that the line's a little bit too wide. Lupi does well against smaller opponents. Her last fight was against Loma Lupbumi, maybe the smallest girl in the UFC roster. And Ariana Carnelozzi is not small. Her biceps are twice the size of mine.
Yeah.
She's fucking jacked.
I think she's going to the same I'm just looking at her headshot, and her neck is wider than her skull.
Yeah.
I think she's going to the same doctor as Vitor Belfort.
Yeah.
Fucking Brazil.
You might be right. She's got good power. She has some good takedowns of her own. People are saying Lupita's going to get her down. Good luck.
Yeah.
Lupita is probably the more explosive of the two.
Yeah, somehow. I mean, if they're letting Carnelozzi just take roids, then I'm taking Carnelozzi.
Yeah, especially at the dog money. I'll take Carnelozzi in this one.
Yeah. All right. Moving on up the card, we got Clayton Rodriguez minus 300 over CJ Vergara plus 240 on DraftKings. Vergara 6,800, Rodriguez 9,400.
This was one I was shocked when I saw the line as wide as it was. I was expecting this to be closer to like minus 150 for Clayton.
Yeah, Vergara is good.
Yeah, he is. And we won money on him in the Dana White Contender Series, where he won by knockout in the first round.
Yes.
He's another one. He's tough as nails. He loves this shit. And then he went on and fought Odie Osborne and got wrecked.
Yeah.
But he came back in that third round and made everyone who had those Odie Osborne tickets a little bit scared. I think he's tougher than Clayton. I think Clayton might be more polished because CJ is very hittable on the feet.
Yes.
So it's a tough fight to pick. I do lean Rodriguez, but I think the line's too wide.
Yeah. Yeah. And I'm dog or pass on this one, and I'm leaning more towards pass.
Yeah.
Plenty more fights. Now moving on up to women's flyweight fight, where these ladies are literally the exact same size as Clayton and Vergara, plus 125, both 5'5". Tracy Cortez is minus 150. Melissa Gatto plus 125. DraftKings Gatto is 75. Cortez 8,700.
Yeah. So Cortez is Mrs. Ortega, as you guys know, Brian Ortega's girlfriend. And she isn't as skilled as her counterpart. She is tough. She shows toughness in all her fights. She has a wrestling background. But I don't know. I think Melissa Gatto is a lot better than her.
Yeah, you think she's getting maybe a little love on the from a betting standpoint because she's Ortega's girlfriend?
Yeah, she's pretty. She's pretty. People like her. But Gatto beat Carol Rosa about 4 or 5 years ago now. She took 3 years off after that, came back, beat the shit out of Leonardo, and then she came back after that and put away Eubanks in the third round. And we're higher on Eubanks than a lot of people are.
Yeah, Ciara's a beast.
She is. Tracy Cortez needs to get this to the ground. Melissa Gatto was able to sweep Eubanks a few times from bottom. I think Melissa Gatto is a better fighter. I like her as a dog.
I like that as well. I think she's overlooked because she doesn't have the looks or the name recognition that Cortez has. And, women's flyweight is always a crapshoot.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Moving on. This fight is very interesting. I was very heavily leaning Andre Filo, the Portuguese fucking striking phenom, but he is minus 370 up against Cameron Van Camp. On DraftKings, Filo is 9,500, Van Camp 67. Any reason why we should take Van Camp here?
No.
That's exactly what I was thinking. Filo had maybe one of the best fights I've ever seen against Michel Pereira.
Yeah, that was a great fight.
And then he fucking knocked out Miguel Baeza right after that.
Yep. Hits really hard.
Really hard.
The only reason Van Camp's in the UFC is because he accepted a fight on short notice. So they're giving him like a freebie here. And the freebie they're giving him is this ticket right out of the UFC.
Yeah.
I fully expect Andre Fiallo to knock him out in the first round.
Yeah, I'm with you there. All
Van
right.
Camp stands straight up, by the way. Chin straight up.
Oh, that is not what you want against the fucking striking menace that is Filo. And he's got his neck is not very wide. Certainly not as wide as Carnelozzi's neck. Definitely not as wide as Filo's neck. So gonna have some trouble absorbing those blows. I think he's going right to sleep. All right, moving on up the card to our boy, Blagoy Ivanov. Plus 125 here against Marcos Rogerio de Lima. I think it was de Lima's last fight when he knocked Ben Rothwell out of the UFC.
It was.
So he looked Rogerio de Lima looked very good in that, but he did beat the shit out of the aging Ben Rothwell.
I have my book has Blagoy as a slight favorite, minus 145.
See, that's what I had as well on my app. I think actually Blagoy is. I think the line is flipped. I think Blagoy is minus 150. Yeah, and he should be. He's a fucking beast. He's fought ridiculous competition in the UFC. Beat tied to Ivasa, and then he had what do you have? 2 split decision losses to Derek Lewis, and who's the other guy you got a split decision?
Augusto Sakai. Yeah,
so
I thought he definitely won that Sakai fight.
Yes,
and then the Derek Lewis fight was close.
Yeah, and the Sakai fight was when Sakai had that ridiculous fence grab.
Yeah,
when Blagoy was trying to take him down, and they just let it go.
Yeah, and we have to remember, Blagoy is a guy who's beaten Fedor in Sambo.
Yes.
And Marco Rogerio de Lima is a guy who chokes, who taps to chokes that aren't even in.
Very true.
I mean, I think there's a really good chance that Blagoy goes in there. By the way, he trains at AKA, wrestling house. I know he's not known for his wrestling in the UFC. He likes to strike, but he said he was quoted as saying, "I have the game plan to go in there and get it done." I think that means he's going to wrestle. If he wrestles de Lima's going down and he's going to tap out. So I think the submission prop on Blagoy is the way to go.
Yeah, and fucking enough said. He's our boy.
Yeah. Stabbed in the heart. He was stabbed in the heart.
Through the heart and didn't give a fuck.
And his family couldn't be nicer.
Very nice family. We met all of them.
World Series of Fighting.
World Series of Fighting back in, I think, 2015.
Yeah.
All right, moving on. Another one of our boys, Brandon Royval, minus 260 going up against Matt Schnell. Another couple of light boys at 125. DraftKings has this at Royval 9,300, Schnell 6,900. What do you think here, Kyle? Schnell by a mile? Royval by a mile?
I think so. I like what Royval's been saying. Listen to this quote from him. He said, "I think I'm tougher. I'm willing to put myself in the fire a little bit longer than he is." Yeah.
And definitely when you consider that he had to beat Bontarine twice in the same fight to win. Fucking made him tap. Bontarine tapped to armbar, and they just made him win a decision.
And we missed out on the sub prop because of that.
Yeah. Very upsetting.
Yep. But yeah, Royval, I do agree. I think he's like tough as they come. Matt Schnell has had chin issues before.
He is chinny, yes.
Not many people could keep the pace that Royval puts on him. I think Royval wins, and I think he probably gets a finish.
Yeah. Or maybe he gets 2 finishes. Tap and wins by decision.
Right, exactly.
All right. Moving on to the next one. Macy Chiasson is plus 180 up against Norma Dumont. DraftKings has this one. Dumont 9,100. Chiasson is 7,100. So I'm a little torn on this one, Kyle. What do you think?
I was thinking Chiasson at first, but then after watching tape, Chiasson's only good if she can be like a bully. She is big. She's really big for the division. She needs to be going forward. She likes to fight in the clinch. And look at what Norma Dumont just did against Aspen Ladd, who fights the exact same way.
Yeah.
It's the same style, same fighter, except Aspen Ladd is maybe a little more athletic than Macy Chiasson. So yeah, I'm going Norma Dumont here.
Okay. You swayed me because that's my exact perception of Chiasson. And yeah, I figured Dumont beating Aspen Ladd might have been a little bit of an apparition because Aspen Ladd was moving up a weight class for that.
That's true.
But yeah, I think she's good enough to get it done. If she can take down Chia-Sun and control the pace of the fight, I think Chia-Sun's going to be in for a long night.
And yeah, Chia-Sun's really hittable from range. She's really only good from in tight in the clinch.
Yeah, she does have a 5-inch reach advantage.
Right, but she's not good from range.
Right. So it's useless.
Yeah, maybe the length of her legs will help her more. PFL style. We need those. We need those stats.
Yeah. All right. Moving on up the card, Francisco Trinaldo and Danny Roberts. This one is a pick'em at -110 a piece. On DraftKings, Trinaldo is slightly more expensive at 8,200. Roberts only 8K. I don't really like either of these guys.
Yeah, when I saw this fight come out, I was like, "Ooh, Danny Roberts by KO might be a play." After rewatching tape, Trinaldo's better than Danny Roberts. He's just 43 years old, so like you said, I also don't like either of these guys. Trinaldo hasn't fallen off a cliff skill-wise just yet. I lean slightly Trinaldo, but I won't bet on a 43-year-old fighter.
No, I think he's good. Unless it's Andrei Arlovsky paying off the the judges. I think he does have some gas tank issues in his last fight. But, yes, definite stay away. Danny Roberts has good power, but he's also very knockoutable.
Yeah, I mean, Trinaldo in his prime kills Danny Roberts. Kills him.
Yeah, 100% agree. All right, moving on to another one where I kind of don't have a great read on in Randy Brown, +105, going up against Chaos Williams, -125. I think we won money on Chaos Williams in his last fight.
Yeah. We've won money on Chaos Williams a couple times. He hits really hard.
Yeah. Knocked out Miguel Baeza.
Yeah. And Miguel Baeza hits really hard. People forget just because he's so defensively flawed.
Yeah.
He does have really good offense.
Yes.
And Chaos was able to weather the storm. He did get rocked in that fight, and he came back and won by knockout. And that's kind of been the story of Chaos's career. He fights all power punchers.
Yeah.
Al Hassan, Semselberger, Miguel Pereira.
Yes.
Baeza, he fights all power punchers, and he wins most of those fights. Even the Pereira fight was really close. And then there's Randy Brown. He's been in the UFC forever. When he looks good, he looks really, really good. Against Gooden, he hit Gooden with everything. Just couldn't put him away. Beat Brian Barberena. He ran through Cowboy. Got the sub against Cowboy.
A lot of people have run through Cowboy.
Yeah, he's massive.
He is. I think he's a little bit better everywhere than Chaos Williams. But
yeah, right. That's the thing.
I think he gets fucking slept.
That's the thing. Like, he might be better than Chaos Williams, but he also might get slept by Chaos Williams.
Like, if it goes 3 rounds, which is doubtful, but I could see him winning the first 2 and then just getting fucking completely knocked out.
Yeah, and one thing that makes me think he might get slept is Randy Brown is used to having a huge reach advantage over everybody. He's got a 78-inch reach, which is
Chaos Williams' arms are super long for how tall he is.
Only 1 inch less than Randy Brown, which Randy Brown is not used to that. So he might think he's out of range because everyone else he's fought, it would be out of range.
Right.
But Williams is in range.
Right.
So, yeah, I don't know. I'm leaning Williams here, but it's probably a stay away.
Yeah, or if nothing else, I'm sure the Williams KO prop probably going to be able to get plus pretty good price on.
Yeah.
Could be a good prop play. All right. Moving on. Speaking of Cowboy, Donald fucking Cerrone is back in the UFC.
The other Cowboy.
Losing 5 straight fights. Going up against someone else who is also not very good, Joe Lozan. This fight would have been really good in like 2016. Not sure why it's on the main card here. Joe Lozan plus 150. Fucking DraftKings has this. Cowboy 8,800. Lozan 74. You think they're trying to get Cowboy a win so he can retire?
I don't know what they're trying to do, but Dana White has come out and say like he doesn't want Cerrone to fight anymore. Joe Lozan at least is coming off a win. It was 2 years ago, but he beat Jonathan Pierce, who's like pretty legit.
Yeah.
Jonathan Pierce on a 3-fight winning streak since beating Lozan. And that was Lozan's last fight.
I think it's closer to 3 years ago. That was in 2019.
Yeah. Okay, 3 years ago. Lozan had some injuries, took time off. He got COVID. In the meantime, Cowboy's just getting knocked out by everybody.
Yeah.
And I was looking at Cowboys' record and losses, and it was all really top competition for a while. And then he got knocked out by Alex Morono, like, right away.
Yes.
And that was the first guy who wasn't top tier that managed to knock him out.
Yeah, because, I mean, fucking Gaethje, McGregor's got serious power. Pettis, also a monster, lost decision. And then little old Alex Morono comes along.
Right. But also that McGregor fight, like getting stunned by those shoulder strikes. I mean, it just was embarrassing, honestly.
Yeah.
It's not a good look for Cowboy. Joe Lozan was quoted as saying he knows Cowboy starts slow, and I'm just going to go out there and put it on him.
Good.
I think if anyone puts it on him, they put him away. Also,
Central Mass guys are tough. The rule still continues. Joe Lozan, I think he lives in Bridgewater.
Yeah, I'm going Joe Lozan round 1.
Yeah. Also, I don't think I've ever seen anyone lose more blood in a fight than Joe Lozan and not just pass out from fucking blood loss.
Joe Lozan is awesome. He's all time.
Yeah, he's an all timer. All right, moving on. Speaking of embarrassing fighters, we have old ass Shogun looking pretty chunky in his picture here, going up against fucking probably one of the biggest letdowns in the entire UFC history in terms of like hot prospect that never panned out. And Ovince St. Preux, he's a sizable favorite here, minus 230. And DraftKings has this one. St. Preux is 9,200. Shogun only 7K.
Well, I'm going to go ahead and start this off by saying Shogun Rua is one of my favorite fighters of all time, and I am biased. So take everything with a grain of salt. But
I fucking love him. He just looks old and chubby.
Well, the chubby part, it's ironic you say that, because I'm sure in that picture he does. But I was doing some Instagram stalking. Shogun's walking around light.
Really?
He's looking good. He's skinny.
Love
Shogun has started to walk around at a lighter weight because he knows at 40 years old that weight cut's gonna kill him.
They got him on the Atkins diet.
Yes, Shogun's looking good. He hasn't fought in a little bit because he got knocked out by Paul Craig. Well, he tapped his strikes actually against Paul Craig.
Paul Craig's tapping everyone. That's no knock against Shogun. And
that was a rematch. The first fight, Shogun and Paul Craig fought to a draw, and it was an awesome fight.
Yeah, I remember.
Shogun, one of the only guys to Paul Craig could not sub him. Paul Craig could not sub Shogun and got reversed on the ground by Shogun. That's how good Shogun's BJJ is. He just doesn't use it.
Yeah,
I mean he's been a black belt forever. He's one of those Brazilian guys. He's not scared of the ground. OSP will not get him in a Von Fluke choke, so don't even think about that for 2 seconds. That's just not going to happen. And on the feet, Shogun still throws bombs. He's got the killer instinct. OSP, like you said, is a letdown. He did knock out Shogun in 2014, a long time ago.
That was when OSP was a hot prospect, though.
Yep. And Shogun was still good.
Yeah.
Shogun was a little bit, I think, reckless in that one.
Yeah.
Got caught. Shogun's wrestling's underrated. OSP, the people who Shogun's going to struggle with nowadays are people who are fast. OSP is not fast.
OSP is not fast.
I think Shogun can win a relatively boring fight here.
I agree. I
think fight goes decision is actually a decent bet if you don't want to pick a side.
Yeah. I think that you can't have either of these guys in Draftkings because I think the pace is going to be very slow.
Yeah, I wonder what the over is because the over is the way to go.
Yeah.
So over 1.5 is minus 155. I wonder what's go to decision. They might not have that out yet.
Yeah.
But that would be worth looking up.
Yeah. If it's out, we may have a take on that in our Substack.
Yes.
All right. Moving on to some actual decent fighters in Michael Chandler, minus 400, going up against Tony Ferguson, who may or may not be done. Chandler is 9,600. Tony Ferguson only 6,600. I think they are trying to get Chandler back in the win column here.
I think you're right. And I think Tony Ferguson, unfortunately, it sucks to say, is done.
Yes. I think
because he's awesome.
He is awesome. I think I saw this earlier that his last win was against Cowboy.
Probably true.
Yes. 2019 was his last win. But then, I mean, he has only lost to, like, studs. In Gaethje fucking title fight, Oliveira, and Beneil.
Yeah, all studs.
All studs.
All top 5.
Yeah. And Chandler's a top 5 guy.
Yeah. And the problem here with Tony is he has a legendary chin. And he's going up a guy in Chandler who hits hard as fuck.
Yes.
You can't test that chin against Chandler.
No.
Tony Ferguson's been saying he's got his wrestling shoes on. He hired his old wrestling coach for this fight, wants to get back to those wrestling roots. But Michael Chandler's a wrestler. I mean,
yeah.
It's not going to work. I think I wrote it in our breakdown, which you can check our full breakdowns for all these if you're a Substack member. Tony Ferguson, with all his quirks and everything that people love him for, it's a lot of wasted movement. I mean,
100%,
some of those
100%.
Yeah, some of those like spins and rolling on the ground. It's cool, but it's wasted movement. I think Michael Chandler's going to knock him out.
Agreed. All right, moving on to the co-main. We get Thug Rose, big favorite here, minus 220, bigger than I would have thought. Going up against Carla Esparza, plus 180. DraftKings has this one. Thug Rose, 8,900. Carla Esparza, 73.
Yeah, I think Thug Rose is the real deal.
Yeah.
She's the real deal. The only thing that scares me a little bit is she got taken down 5 times by Zhang, and Carla Esparza is the best wrestler in the division. The only thing is I think that like Thug Rose, Andrade, Zhang, and Johanna, I think they are like one step above everybody else.
Yeah.
And I don't think Carla is on that level.
I think Carla Esparza is not it. I think she's not it. Well, I mean, it's easy to say that, but fucking who the hell knows?
Don't be shocked if there's an armbar from guard here.
Yes, that's
do not be
that's
shocked.
what I was getting at. That is what I was getting at.
Yeah, but Rose. I like Rose by sub.
I like Rose as well. I think it's probably shouldn't be all that close. If it goes to decision, I am going to guess she wins 50-45 or 49-46.
Yeah.
I can't see her losing 2 rounds.
The only way she loses rounds is wrestling control, but she's a problem on the bottom too, so I don't see her losing this.
Yes.
Don't see it.
All right, moving on to the main event, one that I'm probably most definitely going to be watching the next day, as there's fucking 100 fights on here. This card's going to go till 3 in the morning. We get Charles Oliveira back for another title defense. Going up against Justin Gaethje. Oliveira minus 170. Gaethje, a slight dog at home in Phoenix, plus 145. Gaethje 7,700 on DraftKings. Oliveira's 8,500.
Yeah, this is one where if someone has a real strong read, I'd like to hear why. Do you have a strong read?
I don't, but I was just going to say Oliveira's last title defense, you were a doubter, and I was correct.
You were.
So, Gaethje's last fight against someone who is like a legit, like dominant submission artist was probably Khabib.
Yeah.
And he looked like a scared little boy.
It's Khabib.
It's Khabib. But it is. But Oliveira's had, what is this, his 3rd title defense? He's no fucking slouch. He gets like hated on every single fight now. People don't think he's that good. I think he's definitely the real deal. And I think he wins again. Too. Yeah.
You like him here?
I think, yeah. Yeah. And there's a shit ton of pressure on Gaethje. His mom's probably going to fucking be there. Watch him get fucking rear naked choked, standing up. I think it's too hard to beat Oliveira here if you're not also dominant on the ground.
The thing that I question is, can Charles Oliveira get Justin Gaethje to the ground?
I think that he doesn't necessarily have to in order to win. He's a very good striker, and he is very hard to hit. And then Gaethje...
Well, he did get rocked. He got rocked and dropped against Poirier, and he got rocked and dropped against Chandler.
And what happened in both those fights?
He won both of them. He finished both of them.
Yeah.
But he did get rocked and dropped.
Yes. Yeah. And so he's got multiple more ways to win the fight than Gaethje does. I'll put it that way.
I would say that's a fact, and even Gaethje knows that. Did you hear Gaethje in the lead up?
He said,
He said, if I'm not out striking Oliveira, then I'm in fucked. I'm fucked.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and I don't know if he could. I don't know if he will outstrike him, honestly. I can see Oliveira having trouble with the leg kicks. Gaethje throws ridiculous leg kicks.
Yes.
And those were even a problem for Khabib. Khabib brought it up in the corner like, fuck. He's fucking whipping my legs.
Yeah.
Khabib is the GOAT, so he's able to walk through it like it's nothing.
Right.
Is Oliveira that level? Possibly. I'm not sure just yet.
Yeah.
What I'm thinking about betting is Justin Gaethje finish only prop. That means if Justin Gaethje doesn't win, if the fight goes to decision, then that bet is void. So,
well, that would be his only way he would win anyways. And it's probably, I would guess, plus 400.
No, 130.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
The Gaethje finish only?
Because if it goes to decision, either way,
okay,
it's void. If it reaches the cards, that bet didn't count.
Okay.
Um, I like it. I like it the opposite
sneaky.
way. It is sneaky.
That is very sneaky.
I was thinking.
So I was thinking if it goes to decision, it's a loss.
No. Bet void.
Okay. That's real fucking sneaky.
Yeah,
that's like the old. That's like the old draw no bet on soccer.
And then I was thinking. So what I was thinking was do that bet and combine it with over 2.5. That way, as long as it doesn't finish in the first 2, right?
What?
Which I think it won't. I think they're both pretty tough.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking if this fight gets finished, which I think it will, I think it's going to happen in rounds 3, 4, or 5. So I might just end up playing that over by itself. I don't think it finishes early like people expect.
Okay. I like that.
But I might also play that finish only prop. I might get more into those.
Fuck it.
Because, I mean, it's pretty good. Like, we have reads all the time about these guys winning by finish. And we say it's like really their only route. Remember we stopped betting people like that?
Yes.
But maybe if
now we can start.
Yeah, if we put them back on with the asterisk of if it goes to decision, it just gets voided. The only way you lose it is if your guy gets finished. So,
yeah, that is very sneaky. One that we will have to
think about,
mull over a little bit.
Yeah.
Were you able to make a DraftKings lineup?
I did not.
Okay. I actually have one. Let me see. So, here we go. All right. Just had to get one more guy on there. All right. So, I have nobody that's over $9,000.
Wow.
Yeah. Well, I have Nama Yunus at 8,900. And I really think you got 2 title fights. You got to have both on in DraftKings.
They're going to score big.
Yeah, it's just two extra rounds theoretically to score points if they both go to decision. I got Nama Yunus and Oliveira. I think Oliveira probably gets it done. I do have Cass Williams, even though I'm not 100% sure, but if he wins, it's going to be by knockout. I do have also Blagoy Ivanov. I think he gets it done there. Gatto as a dog. She's probably one of the best dog plays on the card. I think they got that line probably incorrect. And then I kind of ran out of money, so I'm taking a shot on fucking Trinaldo at 8,200. That leaves me with 200.
I like it.
Yeah, and I do think Trinaldo probably gets it done.
Yeah, I do too. I like Trinaldo.
Yeah.
I started with the most expensive. I'm going Michael Chandler. That's a fade on Ferguson's chin.
Yes.
Then I'm going Brandon Royval. He hasn't scored the highest in his UFC career, but Schnell is finishable, so I think he gets a finish here. I think you're right on having the 2 title fights. So I'm going Thug Rose, and I'm going down Justin Gaethje. Going with those leg kicks. And he looked really, really good against Chandler in his last fight. Then going Joe Lozan, see a Cowboy, and
I almost took Lozan.
And CJ Vergara at 6,800, I think is value for DraftKings. Even though I think he most likely loses that fight, but DraftKings there is value in CJ Vergara.
Well, yeah, I mean, I was basically dog or pass on him. That's a good way to take him. If you're going to do it, take him on DraftKings because he definitely can win against fucking Clayton.
Yeah, like you said, it's a close fight. So closer than those odds.
Closer than the line.
Yeah.
All right. I think that is pretty much all we got. Hop on the Substack and into the Discord if you have not done so already, and subscribe to the channel. And we'll see you next week.
All right. Let's win some money.